Mr. Chairman, I would like to relinquish my 5 minutes to Dale Anderson. It's difficult to squeeze this into 5 minutes, but I have to say, if you received an email from me about this induction, or you got one from my teammate Mike Murphy, it's because I'm here to honor you. You people meant so much to me. The little things that people say. My first thought was Sparky Anderson, this famous baseball coach, won a championship in both leagues, made a comment once, never miss no opportunity to say something good to a kid. And I can tell you all the things that every one of you once said to me that changed my life. Just little things, just little comments. I look over my life as a kid, and I still remember some adults saying, nice going, where did you learn that? And it might have been the only comment that whole year sometimes that was so positive. So follow Sparky's advice. My coach in college, Jimmy Bibbs, did a lot of that kind of comment. He always called everybody champ. When I taught school, every kid in my school got that comment. I said, how you doing, champ? Nice job. Way to go, champ. That is so important to me, and it's a part of my life. As far as being in Roseville at first, there are people in this room, my brothers and friends, who came along with me here today. We used to play out in the street, and I can guarantee you, Mr. Ray, that I played more football than you did before I got to Michigan State. But it was all touch football. And I kind of doubt that is really Jimmy Ray, because I don't think he could have survived 8 years of the roughest, toughest guys in the world trying to kill him. That can't be him. And in our football games, I always recall picking up teams, and my brothers are here, and my sons are here, and there was always choosing of teams, and maybe there's 11 guys there, maybe there's 8 or 10, but when there was an odd number, I'd always say, you guys take the first pick. And they would say, Wehrwein, you and Kenny Fyatt are captains, and Kenny Fyatt was an all-state quarterback. So we'd pick up teams, and we get down to 10, and there's an 11th kid, and they said that their pick, and they said, we don't want him, you take him. I said, you're kidding. We'll take him, for sure, we'll take him. We get into the huddle, and I'd say, all right, my brother Gary, you go out this way, Bob, you go that way, and finally you tell everybody their position, and that one kid that nobody wanted say, what am I supposed to do? And I said, you know what everybody always tells you to do, you hike it. But what's going to be different today, I want you to hike the ball and just stand there and look as helpless as you can until nobody's watching you, and then I'm flipping you a pass because it's two first downs or 2 complete passes a first down. And we'd always elevate that kid to be the hero of the game. He always scored the touchdown. And we got so spiritual about that as a team. And the cheaters that were going on in the game, we got you with 2 hands. No, you didn't. I said, let's just let them have it. Let them have it. And that would motivate us even more and get all psyched up to win these games. And I always thought it was like a miracle in a way But I called it spirituality between team members that are working together and they're sacrificing themselves to win this game or to be together, and the motivation. The most significant time I ever saw that was when I was a freshman at Michigan State and walked into the St. John Church for the first weekend, and my heroes from high school watching Michigan State football and track and field and watching Gene win the national championship at Coble Hall in the hurdles and watching him as an All-American and Clint as an All-American, and walked in that church, and they were the altar boys at the church. And that later on that year when they played that 10-10 tie, Gene gave the priest a ticket to that game, and that priest was a Notre Dame student. And the priest told me he was standing on the 50-yard line at the kickoff. The whole stadium stood up, watched the kickoff, and the first offensive play, he said, when I saw Gene Washington running out onto that field, tears started streaming down my eyes, and I stood up on that bench and put my arms up and yelled at the top of my lungs, "Go State!" The spirituality of that football team permeated this whole campus, and it permeated from wrestling to hockey and soccer, national champions in all sports. And when you talk to people on that team, nobody seemed to be on an ego trip. They always praised their teammates. To me, the most significant thing that ever happened to me being on this campus is watching that team and watching the behavior of Gene and Clint. To me, they were perfect examples of what I call love, you call a miracle, and their presence everywhere, they never let me down. And it caused me to re-examine my faith, because all the guys I played with, the biggest cheaters in the game were the Catholic kids who said they'll get rid of that in confession. And that was always the comment we made to someone who was cheating. We'd just say, tell that one in confession. But I always thought watching Gene and Clint's behavior and how they behaved on and off the field inspired me to take a deeper look into reading the scriptures and reading about psychology, and studied every spare minute I could to understand that. And the greatest discovery that I ever made in my life is that God is love. And God is closer to you than your own ears. And your task in life is not to seek for love, but it's to seek and find and remove all the obstacles within us that you yourself have built against it. When does my 5 minutes start, Bill? Thank you very much.